wasn't the players. The players are like, we're not doing that. So I don't know how you could ever figure this out. And again, I think Leaf fans, anyone pretending as if this hasn't happened everywhere else, it has. Like, it's not just Mitch Marner.
There's no way to control it anywhere around.
Everyone's calling around. You don't think, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, the Leafs had an idea that John Tavares might have become a free agent 7 years ago? I think they probably had an idea. So it happens all the time. But I think what would bother the Leafs, I guess, and bother Leaf fans is the idea that last year it was in Marner's head, I'm going to Vegas. So then it was like all year was just, I'm buying my time and I'm getting to Vegas, because that takes on a different complexion. I think that's what bothered people in Long Island about Tavares.
Yeah,
not that he didn't work hard and play hard.
That's what they want to do. Like if he had interest saying, when my tenure's over in Toronto and it's going to be Vegas after that, what is so bad about that, Hayes?
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, it does bring into question, where was your head at all season? Like, how committed to your current team can you be if you've made up your mind you're leaving at the end of the year and you know where you're going?
Which could never be proved. No, it could never
I understand that. It's not about proving now. Like, let's call it what it is. No one's going to prove that. Mitch Marner's not going on a stand and, saying, I swear to tell the truth. That's not going to happen. Right. But if that is I guess what I'm driving at is, again, the aftermath of Marner leaving. Is it possibly going to get to a point where his return is perceived the way Tavares was when he returned to the Islanders? Is that possible if this blows up, that it's like, oh, Marner's been down looking for houses and he was in Vegas, so he was the whole treat us like gods and all that kind of stuff was completely bogus. They were never going to do anything. Wow. And then what Leaf fans are going to do, I can tell you, is, well, why didn't you try to broker the deal last summer? Like, if you were going to Vegas, why not work something out? Why not waive and agree and go to Carolina? You don't really care about Toronto anymore. You made up your mind, you're leaving.
Some guy told me his parents were looking for houses in Vegas. I was like, I don't think that's true. I don't think guys' parents move to the city that you play hockey in the NHL.
Depends on this certain posse, we call it. Everybody, it's different than when we played, guys. It's different that nowadays the money is so big. The parents are part of the package. The age and everybody.
Move to the city that you're playing in?
I mean,
that is insane a world.
Well, it depends on what the parents do for a living. I don't know. I mean, if they have a job here, if they're retired.
Yeah. Anyway, it was just a weird comment where somebody said, yeah, I heard the parent, like, it's just stupid idiot.
Well, and that's what's going to come here and that's my point about something that can't be controlled by anybody. And the Leafs will have no reason to control it because Marner's gone. So you have no reason to control the way the general public feels about him. And Mitch may not care. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't care. Maybe he's already gone.
I think he doesn't, Brian. He doesn't care.
Possibly not.
Well,
Possibly.
My question is...
He is from here, and he's likely going to live here and be here.
Yeah, but you know what it's like when you're mentally committed to just saying, I'm done with that place. You don't care what anybody thinks, and you're out the door, and you want to start fresh somewhere else.
So let me ask you guys. Let's project. Now, Toronto is not it's not a vindictive town. Canadians don't act that way generally. When let's say it's in Vegas, he signs in Vegas, he'll play here once a year the rest of his career. So he's not going to be here a lot. Let's say he's here next year, January 23rd. What do you think it's going to be like in that building?
That's honestly, that was the question I was coming with too, and I was asked that today. I can't tell you the answer until we know the outcome. So you're saying if he signs with Vegas, correct? This is either a trade.
Sure. Regardless of whether there's a sign and trade or not.
Okay.
Let's just say he's out of here and he's in Vegas. And, then stories start coming out. Maybe we can't even go there because then it's projection and who knows what the hell is actually going on.
I'm going to say this. By judging of the last 10 minutes of that Game 7 against the Florida Panthers where he was booed touching the puck, and it was kind of like isolated where you could tell when he touched the puck. This might sound like some amateur fan, but I don't think it's going to be roses like, oh, great. I think fans just, I don't know. And I'm just going off of like Twitter where people are like, oh, Mitch did this and Mitch did that. At the end of the day, I don't know if the fan base is going to be capable of saying, you gave us some great years. You were one of the franchise best player. I'm going to give you a standing O. I really don't know if it's that simple. I don't.
No, I don't think it is. I think it'll be a conflicted crowd. I think it'll be a conflicted crowd.
I think that's the best way you could describe it.
Yeah.
Conflicted crowd.
Again, with Tavares, and it's different, I get it, but with Tavares, it was 100% vitriol and nasty and like, screw this guy. Like, how dare you turn your back on this team? Which, again,
screw this guy because you screwed us.
Yes, exactly. Where if it's true that Marner last summer was like, I'm out of here, I'm going to Vegas, I don't think Leaf fans are going to respond well to that. I don't think they should be expected to respond well to that. It's his life, it's his career, but it is sports, and, people have different reactions. We all know Toronto sports fans are not wired like New Yorkers and New York sports fans. Like, right. New Yorkers are crazy about stuff like that. And it just got to a point where, like, when Tavares went down there, that was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Yeah. Like, it was insane when he went down there to play the Islanders for the first time.
I think it's 50-50. Don't you think it would be 50-50, the reaction? Like a lot of boos, and then some people would be like, let's move on, depending on how the team's doing too. Like,
well,
the other
that's
thing
true.
too is if the team moves on and is chugging along, I think people are like, yeah, you gave us 9 years, it didn't work out, they're happy, things look differently. I think some people will have that thought process. Hayes, the minute he leaves, they hate him, and that's it. They want to kick him in the ass on the way out the door. I think it's 50-50.
And what is
though, man?
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
What is different is my understanding, again, not being from Long Island or being an Islander fan, is that a large majority, if not everyone, wanted Tavares to stay. Where this is different. There's a large portion of the Leaf fan base that is waiting for Mitch to leave, like wants a change. Right. Just wants a different feel, that it's been 9 years. Something's got to give, DNA this, DNA that. If he wants to leave, go for it. And that's why I do think it'll be split. It's that I think a lot of people will just say, hey, it was the best for both parties. Like, that's kind of where I stand on this. Like, and you just got to go. Like, you're going to go. If he ends up in Vegas and it sounds like it, he's picking a great spot, to his credit. Yeah. Like, that's a team that wants to win, and it's a very good team, and sounds like he's going to get a long-term deal.
And one of the biggest things about it was the timing of it. His deal was up at this particular moment. If it was the other way around and it was Morgan Riley or it was William Nylander, it probably would have been them. But it just so happens that Mitch's deal's up. And like you said, it wasn't the whole idea of you're the one that's got to go. It's probably time to do something different.
Yes. And he is the one that's up.
It's not just about the player. It's about allocating money, too. And maybe having two players at $6 million as opposed to one that makes 14 or wants 14. That's all it is. It's very simple stuff.
Well, and what you have now, because of the contracts that the Leafs have signed over the last few days, John Tavares on Friday, a 4-year deal at $14.3 million with deferred money, which is a huge, team-winning contract right now.